Thank you, Bob. That was very nice. And a special welcome to our distinguished guests. Kieran McLaughlin, CEO of Worldwide Ireland Funds, John Fitzpatrick, and Barbara Jones. It really, truly is a great honor to be asked to deliver the keynote for this year's 17th annual Wall Street 50 celebration. I want to thank Neil O'Dowd and Patricia Hardy for this esteemed opportunity. Irish America's efforts, as Bob mentioned, to promote and encourage Irish culture and leadership here in America are incredibly important. And we are all beneficiaries of your good work. So again, thank you. So along these lines, I want to take the opportunity to congratulate this year's class of the 50 most influential Irish on Wall Street. I've spent my entire career in this business, and never has there been a greater need for strong leadership. So I admire each of you for the role that you're playing in elevating and safeguarding our industry. What you do every day is incredibly important to so many people around the world, and you should feel incredibly proud of that work. On the topic of pride, I have to tell you, in thinking about tonight, I took a pause to really reflect on what my Irish heritage meant to me. And what came to mind was an event last spring. My youngest son was doing a school project for his graduation ceremony, if you will, from 5th to 6th grade. He was asked to put down a list of things that he was most proud of. When I took a look at the list that he wrote, the first item was being a lacrosse goalie. So all of my kids are diehard athletes, and if you know anything about lacrosse goalies, you'll know that it's not the easiest position. It's also not the easiest position for the mom of the lacrosse goalie. It's certainly not for the faint of heart, and some would actually say you need to have a bit of a screw loose to actually stand in that cage. So naturally, his pride and his lacrosse skills made a lot of sense to me and did not surprise me. But it was actually what he wrote next that really struck me. Number 2 on the things of his list that he was most proud of was his name. Now, to give you some context, all my 3 kids have traditional Irish names: Aidan, Anya, and Declan. They also have the same Irish middle name, Lynch. So as my birth name, it was always very important to me, and I didn't want to give it up when I got married. And I really wanted them to carry it with them. So my husband and I, Tim, decided to give each of our kids Lynch as their middle name. But here's the kicker. Tim's last name is Massacre. Okay, so that obviously sunk in, Lynch Massacre. So Declan's full name is Declan Lynch Massacre, and he is proud of every last syllable. So now, I tell you that story because I really think it says a lot about what being Irish means. It means being proud. It means family. And that's true in my personal life as well as my professional life. Personally, I'm standing here today because of the strong Irish values on which I was raised. I'm first-generation Irish American. My mother grew up in a 3-room thatched cottage in County Donegal. She was one of 7 kids, and she came to the States. Because her parents encouraged her to seek opportunity. Opportunity to see the world, to raise a family, and to create a better life for herself, for her family, and the generations to follow. Now, my grandfather ended up dying young, but my granny, on the other hand, she lived until she was 97. She actually used to cry because she thought God forgot about her. But by living a long life, what she was blessed is with the ability to see the life that my mother made for herself and for the family that she raised. Here in the States, my mom and my father spent their 40 years together working hard, dedicating themselves to building a brighter future for me and my 4 siblings. Although my parents passed away way too early, the legacy of their hard work, grit, tenacity, and commitment to family is what shaped me into the person that I am today. Professionally, I have found that same sense of Irish family here on Wall Street, and it started with another Wall Street veteran, Bob McCann. I first met Bob over 20 years ago when he was running the equity business at Merrill Lynch. And back then, the trading floor was the veritable who's who of Irishmen. McMahon, O'Connor, Troy. To be sure, there were hundreds of others. But yet, it was the overwhelming presence of Irish names and Irish faces meant that there was something unmistakably familiar about the environment for me. The camaraderie, the teamwork, the shared commitment, the hard work, the laughter, and yes, the shouting. The atmosphere completely changed my perspective of how I fit into the organization and Wall Street. I didn't see myself as one of the few women on the trading floor, but rather one of the many Irish. That genuine sense of family was both comforting and exhilarating. Like anyone, looking around, seeing colleagues with backgrounds similar to my own, it went a long way in helping me acclimate to the business. And it certainly helped me forge relationships that have proven to be invaluable and inspirational throughout my career. As I scan the room and I see my colleagues and I see industry partners whose friendship and counsel I value deeply, it's a great feeling. It's been said many times before and in many different ways. When times are tough, it's really your family that you can count on the most. And when I look at my Wall Street family, the last few years have certainly tested all of us. And while I think we've made a lot of progress since the financial crisis, we are still grappling with a number of difficult issues. But I can say without hesitation that we are up to the challenge, because this is an industry that's filled with men and women of integrity, accountability, and moral courage. So for all of us here tonight, these values are a product of our shared Irish heritage. And it's for that reason that I am fully confident that Wall Street and this Wall Street family has what it takes to restore trust and confidence in our industry. At home and at work, I'm proud to be part of a family that has a can-do attitude. Throughout history, it wasn't long ago that our ancestors were denied the same kind of chances to make a difference in our country. So, the opportunity to build a career from which I'm immensely proud of, to make a difference and to give back to the next generation, and importantly, to set an example for my children, younger colleagues, and other women. That's something which I am deeply, deeply grateful for. Bless you. Again, I'm truly honored to be among this year's Wall Street 50 and fortunate to be part of this tremendous group of Irish Americans. So congratulations again to my fellow honorees. Thank you very, very much, and have a terrific evening.